Good morning.
Good morning. Here we are once again. You know what time it is. It's Happiness is Easy with me, Dominic Nelson Ashley, and of course, Nicola Morgan. Don't forget, it's the dynamic duo. We're here every week. That's it. Let's get crack-a-lacking. Yes.
Right, how am I going to live up to that intro?
You don't have to live up to it. You just have to be your authentic self. Oh,
Oh, I see what you did there.
you see that?
Yeah. So, you read my email then?
Hey, as always, priority, top priority, an email from Nicola. That's right.
Yeah. And so I suggested to Dominic that we talk about authenticity and identity. And who do you think you are? Like the
Who I,
BBC
who I
program.
think I am? Well, I mean, do any of us know who we truly are? That's all right.
Quite a
I've had a think,
yeah.
had a headache, sat down, had a drink, cleared my head. I had a long think about this, and I came to the conclusion: we are our authentic selves only twice.
What, when we're born and when we die?
The moment we're born and the moment just before we die.
And the rest
Because
in between is big, big fake.
big fake, big little fake or big fake. Because when we're born, right? Okay, it's like, right, we're straight out. That's it. Well, I'm just assuming straight out. As you know, I'm not want to get into all the details of, but yeah, you're born. That's you're into the world, wide-eyed, screaming your head off, going, what's this? Right? And just before you die, you go like, do you know what? What's been in the past has been in the past. What's in the future is in the future. Full relaxation. Let it go. Right? Because there's a moment where you must be before you die where you just go like, right. They say that people get that burst of energy before they die. Part of that must be, right, okay, that's the past, that's the future. What's coming up is coming up. What's gone is gone. I'm out.
Over and out.
Over and out. So because when you think about it, the rest of the time you're being influenced by other things, and your authentic your grasp on authenticity fluctuates. So, for instance, just before we started the stream, you caught me combing my hair. It makes no difference. It really, I've looked at it. I'm just going like, hey, what was the point of that
It's a
5 minute
ritual,
grooming
Dominic.
regime? But
It's
like, we choose. So, I'm wearing a green top today. Okay, why have I chosen that? Am I reflecting like my earthy side? You're wearing green. Are we reflecting our earthy sides? Is it? Are we projecting something? How close? What has made us choose that?
well, I chose it green because my pink one was in the wash.
See, you would have worn pink if it was.
I looked in my wardrobe to get my pink jumper, remembered I'd put it in the wash. So I took the green one out instead.
So, I mean, what do you think about that? We are at our most authentic the moment we're born and just before we expire.
That's an interesting thought, and actually, because there's been a lot of work on authenticity and what it means and stuff like that. And I can tell you what the psychologists say in a minute. But one of the exercises that they use quite often to encourage authenticity is to think about, oh, my earring just fell out. Um, think about what you're going to think at that point, like what you're going to think just before you're about to die, or what you want people to think afterwards. So I think they are sort of. I couldn't try and do this without a mirror. Oh God. Um, and so I think you're onto something. because that, yeah. But why? What about when you're born? Because you haven't started pretending, you don't realize other people's expectations of you.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't. All you've got going on is um, what's going on. It's like everything's brand new at that very instant, isn't it? I'm assuming because I can't remember back then. It's just like, okay, it was dark. Now it's light. You're screwing your head off. What's going through your head at that particular moment in time, other than I'm alive.
Yeah. But you're unlabeled at that point, aren't you? No one's put any labels on you.
No one's put any labels. You know, the influences on you are the environment your mother's been in.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it. And then once you're born, then it's all these other factors come into play. What you're given to eat, the light, the heat, the noise, all these things impact on you, and those things continue to impact on you throughout the rest of your life. You know, oh right, okay, I've got this ache on my left side, right? That's definitely affecting my how I feel my authentic self is today. My authentic self wants to dance. My leg says it otherwise.
Yeah, but um just thinking about the being born thing, you immediately get labeled. You might not get a name immediately,
Yeah,
but you might have got one before you were born.
yeah,
Um, and then you get someone decides what your hair color is called,
yeah.
and what gender you are, and all these things start being labeled about you straight away.
Absolutely. I remember this Doctor Who episode with Matt Smith, and he was you know communicating with his baby, and James Corden was the father, and he's going like, oh yeah, they hadn't named the baby yet, and the baby and Doctor Who was talking to the baby, says, yeah, the baby says his name's Stormageddon. They were going like, we were thinking of calling him Jimmy. And then at the end of the episode, like, Doctor Who goes like, yeah, he's all right with Jimmy.
Yeah. So we get our identity after we're born, really. Although I suppose some of it is being set up.
Mm,
You know, if you're going to be born into a rich family or a poor family, into a
yeah,
middle class family, into a nice area, into a
yeah,
challenging area, all that stuff is something you can't help.
yeah, yeah, and then you can, yeah, because when you're born and into those environments, is that there's certain expectations, isn't there? And then you can circumvent those with um, with luck and willpower and all these things, which are can some of them are external, some of them internal. Um, but you can get to the other thing I was thinking about authenticity and identity. And I said, as I said earlier, there's when you're born and then just before you die. But how do you get to back to authenticity and your true identity in the years in between? Because that's a lot of years. So I thought, well, the closest thing must be some kind of deep meditation.
Quite possibly.
Some deep. I mean, there's obviously very different meditation styles. Some people try and that looks like sleep. Yeah, actually, you're not meditating. You're just snoring. Right, that's it. Let's call it what it is.
Well, I used to run a meditation class because whenever I get into something, I've stopped doing this now, but whenever I get into something, I think, oh, I'll do the teaching qualification in that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so I did because I thought, wow, this meditation stuff is amazing. I'll do the course, and But I used to run one evening group, and there were quite a lot of people who would just start snoring. And that was quite funny.
Uh, but did the snoring disrupt the people around them, or was everybody just?
And some people you would see, some people would be snoring, and then others you could see them start laughing. And you see their shoulders go.
I mean, were these meditation classes in the evening? Were they after six? Were they after 6 o'clock after a hard day's work? And
Yeah,
you had the oils out. You had the oils out and the low lighting. It's
it's
done.
not nice. The lighting was low. They were lying down. They had a blanket. Of course, they
Well,
were going to go to sleep.
you know what? Look, you mislabeled that. That wasn't meditation. You know, we can get you under the Trace Descriptions Act, and you're a lawyer, so you know the way the articles to look up. That was not meditation.
Come and
There's
pay me
no
to go to
way.
sleep
There's
on
no
the
way
floor.
you can advertise an event and it starts in the weekday after 6. It's got low lighting, oils, and blankets. And you go like, oh, we're going to meditate. Everybody is sleeping, unless
Yeah,
unless you've had a lot of cups of coffee beforehand.
yeah, yeah. It's probably true. Yeah, but yeah. So I think that probably is very helpful for authenticity because I was thinking that everything else is either social or cultural influences or the narratives, either that a lot of other people, a lot of it is other people telling stories about us,
Yeah,
like what they think we are. They'll,
absolutely,
tell
absolutely.
you, they'll tell you things. Um, and that can form, if you accept that without realizing that you're taking that on, then you're definitely not being authentic.
I've got a solution for that.
Go on.
So my birthday um, was on the 20th of February.
Yeah.
So, but that is not my actual birthday. That's just the day I've chosen. My actual birthday is March the 18th. But, you know, I've been through a lot of stuff and I said to myself, right, I need to get to 20th of Feb and I want to achieve a certain amount of health and get a certain amount of things I need to get done. And I got them done. And I went like, before the 20th of Feb is a different era. And 20th of Feb onwards is a different era. So 20th of, just, hey, if the king and the queen could have a couple of birthdays, why can't I?
So that was a new start, was it?
Absolutely. 20th, yeah. I mean, like I'm sure I told you about it. Is like I got sickle cell disease and I had the cancer stuff, and I was managing okay. I went to see a sickle cell specialist who knew about my version because there are lots of different versions. We won't go into that. And she'd researched. I think she'd studied my particular version. And I'm 58, and like I've only met three, maybe four people who understood about my version, and
Yeah.
she had done her thesis on my version, right? So I'm going like, I'm talking to her. It's like an old friend. It's like it's like looking in the back. She gets me, right? Knows all about my challenges, etc. She goes, hey, I'm recommending these two vaccinations, right? So those I had those two vaccinations, even though currently I was like, I'm doing fine. But she goes like, hey, we really recommend these two vaccinations. So I had them. This is on the 30th of October, right? And for the next 2 weeks, I was shivering, I felt terrible. And then for the next, November, December, January, let's just I'll call it my male period phase. What was coming out was, that's not good. I felt terrible. It was an awful experience. Anyway, I got through all of that and I managed to do all the work I needed to do. And yeah, so February the 20th, I went like, right, that was then. This is now also the title of a great ABC song. But anyway, for those 80s, 1980s fans who are listening in, right? So
I'm going to put that on the
we'll put it on
playlist.
the playlist. Um, so yeah, February the 20th, I just went, okay, that's a new start, new life. Why
That's
not?
brilliant.
Why not? Hey, just because, you know, actually, I phrased that bit just wrong. Like just because I was born on a particular day, I can't just, otherwise, if my mum hears that, she'll go like, "Hey, you just can't be flipping with it like that. You can't be flipping with it like that." Okay. So even though I was born on a particular day, you can go, hey, that particular day is the day I choose for my other birthday. Just like you go, like you mark when you graduate from school or university and all these other things. Why can't you go, hey, on this particular day is my official birthday? You grab hold and you carve your identity. You
Yeah,
decide
that's
what your
that's a lovely
authenticity.
idea because that would give you a real shift in mindset, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Although I suppose it could keep changing, couldn't it?
And of course, yes, but hey, our identity is constantly fluid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because of what experiences we have, um, you know, our environmental factors, some of which we've already mentioned. At this particular moment in time, my identity is I've got grey hair, I've got a white beard of sorts that my wife hates. Um,
That's
I'm just
funny because my husband's not allowed a beard because it would be grey. And I keep saying to him, it will make you look older because he's the same age as you, 58.
well,
And
I'm going for gravitas. My
yeah,
wife's not
that's
having
what I
that. My wife's not having that. She's going like, nope.
said.
She's going, but it makes me look distinguished. She goes, no.
Yeah, but
So yeah, I mean, as I say, identity is fluid, and then authenticity ties into that because your identity and your authenticity are linked, but they can be separate.
yes, they can definitely be separate because authenticity, I think it requires you to think about who am I, what is my identity, and once you realize what your own identity, like being true to yourself, is
Yeah,
instead of all the labels everyone else gives you,
yeah,
um, that's where you can start. But like I was listening to, there's a whole series of podcasts which are really good called The Curious Collection on BBC Sounds, where they're looking at ideas like this. And there was this woman who was born in Lagos in Nigeria. And she then later on, I think when she was quite an old teenager, like over 16 type thing, moved to the UK.
yeah,
And the reason she was telling this story is the host said to her, "Is being black an important part of your identity?" And she said, "Well, I was born in Lagos.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't realize I was black. It
yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
for the
yeah,
first part of my life."
yeah, yeah. So that's a very common story. So people go like, your identity go like, oh yeah, my tribe is this. I'm Yoruba, I'm Igbo, I'm whatever. You know, that's their identity. Not like, oh, I'm black, which is there's just it's a catch-all term, isn't it? Which is it's I don't know, it comes with very many connotations. If you depending on where you are, you've even got this phrase like, politically black, right? Okay, so what exactly does that mean? It's detached from the ethnicities. Like, okay, does that mean if you're black and you vote Republican that you're not black? Does it mean if you're black, black being black, there's a monolith of thought? No. So, but I digress.
No, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about because it's all it's about the labels that other people are putting on you, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Um, and so I think part of being authentic is about engaging with a true self, with your actual values. And that's what you there's this really well-known psychologist, Carl Rogers, and he was like, believed that when people were unhappy, it's because they weren't being authentic, because they were going along with all the labels
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
were given.
absolutely.
Because, you know, and quite often people say, uh, they'll ask, oh, what do you do?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, yeah. I mean, I saw an interview with I think it was in London Street, and this interviewer went up to this young lady, and she had lots of bags, and he asked her, "What do you do?" And she said, "I vibe." Which I think is a fantastic answer. Anytime, anywhere I'm going, anybody asks me what I do, that's my answer now. What do I do? I vibe. That's it. That's excellent. I mean, this woman she had loads of expensive bags and been shopping, so obviously she's from a rich family. But I just like that concept of like, what do you do? Well, I exist. I do what I like. Da-da-da-da. But you summarize that as I vibe.
I vibe. I love that. That's really good.
You know
Yeah,
that should be on that business card. Just like
I vibe.
I'm a vibologist.
But I've always sort of not really liked that question, because it's like, why do you want to know? Why do people want to know that?
Yeah, well, maybe they're judging you, aren't they? They're
Yes,
actually
that's
judging you. You
yeah.
know,
When I go to hospital,
yeah,
which isn't that often anymore, but the doctors will say, "What do you do?" And when they hear that I've got a professional job, they talk to me in a completely different
yeah,
way.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, maybe that might be a slightly different thing because doctors aren't exactly known for being the best communicators. So they have a script. I'm sure they had a class sometimes like, right, okay, we know we're all rubbish at communicating, so here's some standard questions. So you don't have to freestyle on it. Ask them what their profession is, and that might give you a clue of how you can talk to them. But generally, that question of so what do you do then is it's a misnomer, isn't it? Because we all do lots of different things at different times of the day. Oh, you catch me at try and call me at 8 o'clock. Ah, what do? I sleep. What about it?
Yeah, yeah. Um, so it's quite a strange, because what they mean is, what do people pay you to do?
Yes, yes. And then it gets into um, does pay equal value? And I think this whole
For
judging they
the
should
president of the United States.
What was that? I missed that.
Said that sort of brings us back to the values of a president of the United States.
Oh yes, I've been having a political detox. I haven't
Yeah, so have I.
checked anything for a while. You just go like, oh, but something seeps through. Oh, Trump is being Trump. Oh, okay, and he's I wasn't nearly said sidekick Elon Musk, but he's decided to which way around is going.
Yeah,
But
I
no, he's doing exactly what he said he'd do. He hasn't changed. Well, is he being his authentic self? I'm sure he is, because he's out the gate for the last 11 years. He's gone like, yep, this is what I do. I'm a nasty piece of work. Da 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 da. I care about myself. Da 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 da. You know, I mean, he dyes his hair. The orange makeup and all that kind of thing. Maybe he's trying to hide something there. His age, who knows? But if you just actions speak louder than words, and his words are consistent, right? So you know, so
yeah, I don't want to give him too much attention, but I wonder if he is being authentic, because the story behind him is something like he was really bullied by an overbearing father who only valued money and stuff. So he's
Yeah.
picked up on that. So he's taken on that narrative, and that's his story. But whether that is actually really true, I don't know. Manages to be pretty horrible. So
Well, all we can, last thing I want to say about him is that he likes dictators, strong men. And so why is that? Maybe it's because deep down inside, he's a soft man. And he probably can't believe he's getting away with this nonsense. He probably can't believe he's getting away with this nonsense.
no.
It's a bit like,
Anyway, onto the importance of everyone.
yeah,
the the research is that if you can find your authentic self, you will be much happier, which is a good thing because it's sort of self-understanding, and it's not about like your job or things like that. It's if you're true to your values and you're aware of what your emotions are, your inner and you can align your inner and outer worlds. There you go. That's the way.
oh, bring that back again. Align your inner and outer worlds. That's strong. That's
Is that the t-shirt
honestly,
quote?
that's t-shirt worthy. That is. That's on a mug worthy. That is.
Yeah. So it's you, but it's kind of you have to go through a bit of a process to
Yeah,
do that alignment.
yeah,
Um, now, just using the example of, um, I was so unhappy being a lawyer. I would cry every morning before I went to work. I would do the job, but
yeah,
I hated it. I hated every aspect of it, really. You
yeah,
have to account for every 6 minutes of your day. You
yeah.
have to represent people that you don't like.
Yeah,
And
that must be the hardest. That must be the hardest because you looking at people and it's like what comes in comes in. If you get, from what I understand of it, it's like okay, when they come in, you know, it's like okay, the fifth one's come in, you're fifth in the queue, you get that. It's like, do I have to do this one? It's not about the money, it's about the oh.
yeah, sometimes I just didn't want to help these people. I had a client who was a property dealer,
Yeah.
and he said, so I was doing a commercial transaction for him, and he said, I want to absolutely stitch this person up. I want to rape them. And I thought, I really don't want to help you.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. And also that sort of stuff lingers with you, doesn't it? So I think what we ought to, I think it's essential is that it's not just about finding your values and aligning them in your inner world and your outer world. You've got to detox as well from the stuff that's been on top of you. It's a complicated process there. You've got to you've got to have your techniques together and your strategies together to detox first of all, right? You've got to be aware of what's being thrown at you, right? That's hard, right? In this world, because you don't get the time to do it. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
so that's where you need to make time for mindful reflection.
yes. Mindful reflection.
So that goes back to your
But,
meditation.
that could be with a blanket after 6 o'clock and a so-called meditation class with the lights off. Snoring is not banned, right? Snoring is actually actively encouraged. Costs you extra.
But we talked about before, journaling. That's a good way of doing it. But so is meditation. So is having time to think. Going out for a walk, um, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think actually, when you think about it, walking is probably one of the best things, but people don't do it.
It is. It's really good for you, especially if you go out fairly not early in the morning, but if you can get to go out in the morning, it's really good for your circadian rhythms,
Yeah,
for your
yeah,
light. And then
yeah,
that will help you sleep. It will put you in the right pattern for the day. You're out in nature, you're
yeah,
meditating, you're thinking,
yeah.
getting a break.
Because we know going to work, being in the office, really messes with the circadian rhythms, just like fries it, big style.
What, sitting in an air conditioned environment with false lighting and
all that. It's no good for you. Um,
turn my heating on. Getting roasted.
yeah. So yeah. So you got to first of all, you've got to be aware of what you're being bombarded with. Then you've got to come up with find the right strategies for you to detox, find out what your values are, aligning them inner and outer, and then do the work to get to your authenticity. That's hard work. See, I'm
Yeah,
tired just talking about it. Tired just talking about it.
yeah. But there's loads of things that, in order to do that, that you need to be aware of and challenge, like your societal and cultural expectations and stuff like that. And think, are they what I want? Do
Yeah.
I want that birthday?
So you compromise and have two.
What do you mean?
By that is that my you know to my mum, I'm born on the 18th of March. Right? To my new self is the 20th of February. I can have two parties. So good. It's all good. I'm keeping everybody happy. Keep myself happy. I'm keeping the family happy.
But then you're doing pretty well, aren't you?
That's it. That's it. That's it.
And another way is, and it totally aligns with what you talked about before, um, expressing yourself creatively helps you find your authentic self,
Yeah.
like art and writing and other forms of creative expression.
But then it comes to, but you decide what that creativity is, not what other people decide. Because, you know, some people get a great amount of joy out of making sure their spreadsheet is just bang on. Some people are like that. I used to know a guy.
It's like that. I hear him from his office because his office is in the house. And I can hear him go, yes. And I'm like, what? What's happened? Oh, I've just done this amazing spreadsheet. I never thought I was going to be able to get that formula.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You know, what brings you joy, and you define what that joy is, what that creativity looks like. I'm not talking creative accounting. Well, let's put a disclaimer there. Put that disclaimer there. But
um,
people's brains work in a different way. Like I know a guy who studied. I think he was an air traffic controller for a period of time, and like he was into maths, you know, and his brain worked in a particular way, and you know, it's different to the way my brain works. So what I called creativity wasn't what he called creativity. There was a little bit of overlap, you know, regarding particular forms of music, but how his brain functions very different to mine.
mm, yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. It's because it is totally different. So you've got to sort of find your own way with what it is that you truly are. And I was just thinking about my dad. That's why I was pausing, because I don't think that he is. I probably shouldn't say this. No, I won't. I'll edit that bit out. I won't say the bit about my dad. There's someone I know. There's someone I know whose granddaughter told him that uh, she's a lesbian, and she is, and that's part of her identity. That's part of her being authentic. That's part of who she is. And he said, I don't think that's a very good lifestyle choice. And I thought, so if you actually say that to someone who's told you that they're gay, then you're asking them to live an inauthentic life. You're actually asking them to deny that part of themselves for a
Yeah,
lifestyle choice.
well, that's a different generation, isn't it? That's a different generation, and you know their way of thinking, and especially in the UK, it's like stiff upper lip. Things are, you know, bow down to royalty. You know, things are done in this particular way. You step outside of that, it's chaos, it's carnage.
Yeah.
And then there might be an element of, hey, we went through two world wars and we got through because everybody stayed in line and did what they were meant to do in this particular order. Da 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 da. This society was like this, and that's why we won the war. And don't step outside that. Going against the grain is not helpful.
Yeah, and that's what their education system was set up to establish and enforce.
Yes, yeah. So so you then get to the point of like, we fought for your freedom, and now you want that freedom. We're not happy with that, what you're choosing to do with it.
Yeah, but then I think once you do that work that you've been talking about, where you think and you question the norms and you think what you want to change and you start expressing yourself creatively and everything like that, then you've got to balance self-reflection with actually doing anything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking. Yeah, yeah. I had a bit of snoring. Yeah. Cozy blankets, got the oils out, the essential oils. That was really good. Yeah. Yeah. Got some ideas. Yeah. Yeah. And that'll do. Action. Action
Then
is
you got to
required.
act. Then you got to act, haven't you?
Which is perhaps the hardest part. The hardest part, actually. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Then it comes to the boring stuff of goal setting, isn't it? Goal setting and the constant reevaluation of like going rounds and rounds and round and round and round. Am I being my authentic self today? Maybe. Let me check the plan.
Well, in our this is not a toolkit um useful PDFs, there's going to be one about balancing self-reflection with action.
Whoa, fantastic. So, are you saying that everybody should download the PDF
Yes.
and it'll be very helpful to them,
Yes,
if not
I am
essential?
saying that. I
If
am
not essential.
recommending that. And there's also a good book.
Oh, I was wondering when gonna get. We need to be sponsored by Waterstones or
Authentic.
somebody, you know.
Authentic: How to Be Yourself and Why It Matters by Professor Stephen Joseph. There you go.
Fantastic. Not a personal friend of ours, but hey.
No, but I did a few years ago. I read that and did all the stuff, all the exercises and everything, and it really was good. It really was helpful, um, because as we've discussed many times, the pursuit of happiness, which is set in the American Constitution, might be the wrong thing to be trying for.
Is it really set in the Constitution?
Yeah, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Oh, right, of course, of course.
Yeah,
I just blocked America out of my brain.
yeah, we're trying to block America out. Somehow it keeps popping up on my computer all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're trying not to click things so that they don't get the algorithm that I'm interested.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The pursuit of happiness might not be the right thing.
No, because
And another book is coming out.
you can end up in the happiness trap.
The Happiness Trap. Who's that by?
That is by Russ Harris, and it's about how you can actually make yourself more miserable by trying to be happy.
Mm. Is that anything to do with perfectionism?
It partly, but it's also sort of not just, it's not being authentic, it's not accepting who you actually are.
Right.
Trying to be better, trying
Mm.
to be, with goal setting and stuff, like I did with the best career that I could have would be to be a lawyer.
Yeah,
I'll do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then, but I hadn't thought to myself, what are my values?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But that's only my personal example, but I've got, there's lots and lots of other examples of where people.
Everybody's got a few examples. Me being trained to be a tax inspector. It's like, yeah,
Like,
Yeah. So
it was the
I took it off my CV for years. For years. It was like this gap. It's just this gap. Oh, what happened there? Well, it's just discovering myself. Discovering I didn't want to be a tax inspector. So I was good at maths. Okay. So I've got an analytical mind. Okay.
Yeah, but do careers advisors consider what the values of the people in front of them are, and do they give advice to align with those values?
They should do, but as with all professions, you get, the spectrum, don't you? You get people who just like, oh, we'll just, it's a 9 to 5, we'll just like go through a checklist, and some people who ask the deeper questions. And that also, there are time limits on interviews. When I was doing it, it's like, okay, you've got to see this, see this person, you've got a 45-minute slot, off you go. Oh, next, conveyor belt style. And you only get the chance to go deep when you go private, really, or it's a different setup. So, but I always count myself as being a little bit different. I always went for like, okay, what are you about? What are your parents about? What are your peers about? What are your values? Let's see if we can tie this all together. What's going on? But it's one of those, as you went through yourself. It's like, okay, the job description says this, and you've got to fit yourself into that, even though that's a box like that. And we're not square. We have rounded edges.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would have thought that choosing your career, because takes up so much of your time,
yeah,
that should really be values led. That should be a really authentic choice. What is really, really important to you is because you're going to spend most of your time,
mm,
in the waking hours doing
yeah.
it.
Which is one of the reasons why I went into that line of work in the first place. Because what do you spend most of your life doing or trying to do? Working, right? So it's essential to make the right choices.
Yeah.
You make the wrong choices, you could spend years, decades being unhappy, miserable, and then you wake up 15 years later going like, you know what? I should have done that instead. That's where my heart is.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I find it quite sad when people are waiting to retire.
Yes. Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I can see why retirement is attractive, although I know people that don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Uh, but what a horrible thing to sort of go, I'll just get through this, I'll just get through this,
Yeah.
I'll just get through this. And it's like you've got one life. You're trying to
Absolutely.
get through it to retire. That's I find that quite sad.
And then they retire and then they go, what am I going to do with my time? Because they haven't necessarily thought it all the way through, like all the steps that we've talked about.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that if people um the happiness trap stuff is all based on um acceptance commitment therapy, which I think I've talked about before. And it's the same thing as the authenticity, really. It's finding your values, but they call it ACT because it is about taking action as a result of that, and not just sitting there having philosophical ideas.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
right, you've done this now. Now align those inner and outer worlds. You got to do something.
Do something. You got to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm looking for this PDF. This PDF, which is not a toolkit, not a toolkit. We've got to stress that. Oh, this is going to be great. This one, because this is going to be perhaps the most beneficial PDF yet. I mean,
yeah,
because what could because this is fundamental. This is foundational stuff we're talking about here. This this is life-changing stuff here. I mean, this is why we do this podcast in the first place. But
Yeah,
this is life-changing stuff. It's like, okay, you just aligning your inner and outer values, right? Just doing that and that level of awareness, not only will that increase your happiness, that will probably add years to your life. Just that one bit of clarity, even if you're stuck in the same job. It was like, oh, okay. Oh, that uneasiness I felt coming to work every day. Oh, right. Oh, I know what that is now. Right. Okay. I'm stuck in this job for financial reasons or whatever. But because I know why I feel this way, it'll make me able to cope with this situation easier. And I can plan about exiting. That
yeah,
immediately add 5 years to your life. Immediately. Straight away.
yeah,
That's the power of the toolkit. That's the power right there. I mean, you may not see it's fundamental and foundational.
yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Good.
Anyway,
Now, one of the difficulties of doing that is that you might get resistance from other people because you having to be a certain way might suit other people.
oh, you've changed.
Yes. It's like,
Oh, you've
of course
changed.
I've changed. I'm different every day.
Oh, fantastic answer. Fantastic answer. We'll write that down.
Because you should be evolving.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, so that can bring challenges, but you can probably if you get some practice where you do have some thinking time, you can probably think that can be part of your plan. You can think about how to handle that and how to communicate that.
And that's one of the things, like, you're going to get those questions. Once you get to a certain stage, you go like, okay, what's going to be thrown at me? Oh, you're not the person you used to be. Of course not. Who'd want to be 18 again? No chance. No chance.
There's that label of a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
And I thought that's so silly because that's very often applied to people who've had children and their children are growing up. And so your focus has shifted to your children and then it's got a shift away from them because you have to let them go. That's your job. You've got to make yourself redundant.
Yeah.
And so then you've got to do another shift. So
Yeah.
that's just evolving, isn't it? It's not a crisis.
It's not a crisis. It's not a crisis.
Yeah. So right. I've done my books.
Hey, absolutely. That's a fantastic place to stop for
Yep.
people to go away, reflect, turn the lights down low, get essential oils out.
Start snoring.
Snoring's acceptable. Any type of blanket you like. That's it. But the
Yeah.
essential part is to take time to reflect on your values, because your values is the key. And once you know what your values are, you got to try your best to align them, your inner values, with the external world. And
Yeah.
that is the starting point. It's hard. No one said this was easy. Happiness
Isn't easy.
isn't easy, correct.
Maybe we should change it to happiness is partly possible.
Yeah. We should do that. Yeah.
No.
No, we got too far. We got too far. Wrap it up there. We'll wrap it.
Okay. Thank
We'll
you for
come back.
listening to Happiness is Easy
Yeah.
with
All
Nicola
right.
and
Till
Dominic.
next time. Excellent stuff, as always.
See you.
See ya.